guys, welcome to Tina's Tales and a truth-telling guest. This is the first episode and I'm so happy to share this conversation with my beautiful friend who's so confident and inspiring and supercharged. This is none other than my colleague Shilpa. Um, so on the first episode, I really wanted to talk about career and what I've learned over the past year when I joined the corporate world for the first time. It's been definitely eye-opening, insightful. It's shaped me in different ways, molded me into different layers that I didn't imagine. And because me and Shilpa are quite similar, we're both creative, aren't we? She's super entrepreneurial. She always keeps herself busy with so many motives, and so many giving back to her community and also the creative community in the dance industry. I remember the first time I met you.
Yeah.
And you came back after teaching your dance class from Brighton, and I was like, "You what?"
Yeah.
After your 9 to 5, you go to Brighton and you teach, and then you come back.
Yeah. I just needed something to like let go of all the energy I had or whatever. It was like winter time, so it was starting to get dark, so I needed something to like pick up my mood.
In the dark, when the days are shorter.
You need something.
Yeah, I feel like I have more energy when the days are longer.
Really?
For sure. I get so depressed. This seasonal depression comes through.
Yeah.
And when the days are short, I'm really not happy.
Yeah, you need that.
Why are the days so short? I remember the first time I went out, like when I moved back home, and it was dark around 9 p.m. I was like, what the heck?
9 p.m.
Yeah,
That's
it already
not-
gets dark.
As in,
at 9
it
p.m.
gets dark at like 4 p.m. in like December. So what are you talking about?
But you know, like in the summer, I was kind of getting used to the long nights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, initially we wanted to film the video when we were in Worthing,
Yeah.
where we both moved out for this job, where we both met at the job. But here we are now because it didn't work out then. I remember, like, I really wanted to talk about nervous about moving back home because we both moved back home after the coronavirus, and yeah. But to start the conversation, I want to ask you, why did you decide to work in tech?
Well, personally, I wanted something that wasn't like boring because I studied biochemistry and I was in the lab quite a lot of the time, and that was quite. You don't get much interaction. You don't get to like think creatively as much, and tech was like a good balance between business and something sciencey, like something to use your brain for. So it just kind of like fell into place, really. I mean, I'm still like figuring out what to do, but I do like tech so far.
Yeah.
That's why I chose it.
I think more than tech, I'm quite keen on and interested in consultancy.
Yeah, because I think I have like good people skills, and I like just using my brain to like think outside the box. And rather than doing something that's 9 to 5 just at a desk, tech and consulting seem like a better option for me. What about you?
I mean, I think I now know myself, like compared to so many other guys who are excited to travel like Shilpa. I don't have that energy. Like I don't care about like going and staying in nice hotels for sake of work that's paid by work. Because it's nice and that kind of luxury. Because I feel like I've done enough solo traveling to know what's out there and for me to enjoy that part. And I know what I now like is like a kind of boring, I guess, compared to you. But I like to be in the same office.
A bit more comfortable.
Yeah, a bit more comfortable and something a bit structured that I know where to go rather than catch a flight at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
to go see a client. Yeah. But I think it's really cool how you're so interested to be client facing. You're so confident to put yourself out there to present and be client facing. Were you always like this?
No, to be honest, I was quite introverted when I was younger, but I would say that like dance played a massive part because I don't want to even start dance, but it got me out of my like comfort zone. And once I started teaching, I realized I like talking to people and interacting with them, and consulting is literally like you're doing something for a client and you get to talk to them, find out what they want, and yeah, no, that's why I kind of came out of my shell, I would say. What about you?
Cool. I don't think I think too much about being not confident to speak in front of a client. I guess it's a testimonial because I'm doing a YouTube video right now. um, I think I was just like last year I was keen on developing my skills, like the technical skills, then be straight away like be presenting to a client and building that relationship per se.
Yeah.
I wasn't too stressed upon being client facing. It wasn't too important to me. Um,
Yeah, because with tech consulting, you need to. I realized this after I came to the job. You need to have a really good like bank of knowledge before you start being client facing. I thought it would be like business consulting or something where you're just going into it from day one. But no, with tech, like you really need to know what you're talking about. So
yeah.
you need to have both the like kind of upskilling side and so you need to have like technical knowledge and people skills.
Yeah, it's important to know like when to expect, what to expect,
Yeah.
and it's important to get those information by the right people at the right time, having the right mentorship, because you can be a bit lost,
Yeah,
right?
that's the right word. Yeah, lost.
Yeah. Do you feel like as a South Asian diaspora and a woman, do you feel underrepresented or unrepresented at all in the corporate world or tech? Yeah.
I would say yes. More companies are making more effort to bring women into tech, which is good to see. But at senior level, it's really like the representation is really low. Like we have maybe one senior female member, which is good, but not good enough, I would say.
Yeah.
Should I say that?
That's okay. It's probably the case for everyone.
Yeah. Okay,
right
yeah.
now, and it's 2020.
Yeah, no, I do feel underrepresented, and especially with like the whole South Asian part of it. We do have a lot of South Asian males,
Yeah.
but not so much females.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, and because I grew up in the Greater London, not Central London, and I'm proud to say that. But I remember going to the Central London and I would see like really nice big buildings, and I would see the offices like really shiny, and I used to think, oh, it must be nice to work there. Their life must be so much like better. I think it's a bit almost surreal for to see myself working in a big firm.
Yeah, you kind of lose perspective, and you don't realize that I'm there now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But although we're only grads now, at least with me.
Our foot in the door, I guess.
Yeah, because I guess if there's younger people listening to this, it might feel a bit far-fetched and almost unfeasible sometimes if you don't see people around you working in like higher positions in the corporate world with like powerful decision-making roles. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I know. As in in the community that I grew up in, there weren't many options for representation of different kind of job roles. So I didn't even know that consulting was a thing until third year of university, which is quite bad because as soon as I heard about it, I was like, okay, this is the one. And if I knew it earlier, I would have been able to get experience and things like that. So definitely representation and knowing that this is a possibility is very important.
Yeah. And I think what you said about there's so many like Indian people working in IT, I think a lot of them are offshore, right? And although there's Indian men and colored people, a lot of them are men and men only, and it's kind of terrible how a lot of men working in tech also don't have the people skills, wouldn't you say? And it's really troubling times when you're a new grad, and I'm sure you had this similar experience. You were out and about in uni doing so much out of your curriculum too, and because with all of the spirit that you had, and because they are so just like tied down to the keyboard and the monitor and just typing away. And
it is very demanding. Like I've seen some of them work until like 8 p.m. Even when they're like
midnight. Why are people sending emails at midnight?
And in like calls, you can hear their kids in the background and everything. So it's a very demanding job, which I guess might be why there's more men kind of in it. But it would be nice to see more females, definitely.
Yeah. One day, you and I know.
We can pave the way.
Yeah. Here's the new news, or not new, that you are doing a full-time job, doing your dance bits and bobs, having a social life, and doing a master's, fam. She's doing a master's.
Micro masters, which is a course. But yeah, no, I don't like sitting still, so
Yeah, I think people know now.
if I don't have something else going on, I feel almost kind of guilty, like that I'm not doing something else. So I just kind of picked up an online course, which was expensive, but I think it will be worth it. And I think it's really important at this age to
Upskill.
and like get as many things on your like CV or whatever as you can, because you won't regret it. Like these things will stay with you, and even if it doesn't like help you get a job, you'll learn something. Which is why, and also because I had a lot more free time after COVID. I wasn't really going out or traveling or anything, so I needed somewhere to put my time.
Yeah, are you liking it?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I'm doing it with MIT, and the lecturers are like really, really good. So
I think what you said about liking it more than being focused on this is going to get me a job.
yeah,
I think that's where you're going to enjoy it,
yeah,
rather than putting pressure on yourself. Like, I need to tick this so that I get booked into this job.
exactly. I think the main thing, and the main reason I learned that was because of undergrad. Like I don't know about you, but in my community, it's you get a degree and that gives you a job. Like if you want a degree in consulting or business or whatever, you need to do economics or business or whatever. But I came from biochemistry, and my parents were always confused, like where is this going to take you? And being like first like daughter as well, so they really didn't know what they were doing. So I kind of had to like stand my ground and say, no, I'm sure this will work out. And basically my advice is, as long as you're enjoying it and you're going to gain something from it, it doesn't have to be like targeted to a certain career field. Just learn something from it and enjoy it.
Did your parents go to uni?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they do like diplomas in India. It wasn't
so
a
they
degree.
studied in India.
Yeah, so they studied in India. I was born in India as well, so
Oh.
yeah. So I'm very like late here.
But you came here when you were really little.
I was 2, but my parents were very like I can speak my mother tongue fluently, and my parents were very
That's awesome.
new to the, very new to the kind of British culture, and I had to kind of
Build the bridge.
and find myself. Like you can't disappoint them, but you don't want to integrate too much into this culture. You want like a good balance. But yeah, and they didn't really know what to do about GCSEs or A levels or degrees. I was the one who was figuring it out and telling them.
Yeah.
Was it like that for you?
But yeah, I mean, my mom and dad both didn't have their higher studies, higher educations, and so they're very keen on us getting the education, the formal education to the highest possible ability.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's affordable. Yeah, and I don't think they are aware of consulting too, but I think they're just happy that I have a job.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. And I do feel like I remember stressing so much about not having the bearings of how to communicate with them about career choices. Because I think, like, to get a grad scheme is already so hard at this point of us. And I imagine it's even harder for the new grads now post the pandemic. But I remember so stressed because they were giving me so much pressure to get a job, like to have some structure, some security, and then they were asking me questions about what even is this? What is tech? What is tech? It's too broad. What are you doing?
For real.
Yeah, and then you're like, you studied economics. Do something that gives you something out of your degree.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad is so keen on just doing what you studied.
Yeah.
But they don't understand how it could be flexible.
Yeah, especially in today's day and age, they're looking for like thought diversity. So
Yeah.
you can do something like philosophy and come into tech consulting. It's
Yeah.
because you'll be valued, like you'll learn something from it. So
Yeah.
definitely choose a degree that you enjoy.
Yeah. And I think it's not always about what you studied, but also what you did in uni, right? That shapes you, that shapes experience, that shapes the confidence, that shapes how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
And it really shows through when you apply.
And in the interviews as well, like when they give you scenarios, you can take it from anything. It doesn't have to be your degree. It can be your roles in societies or something you did outside, like charity work. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be degree related.
Yeah. Talking about uni, let's go back in time. Back to the good old days.
I wish.
And were you like really interested to go to uni, or was it a bit forced by your parents?
I was interested in going to uni because, as a first generation immigrant, I was very excited to like kind of move out and see what that was about. But looking back, I probably would have wanted to take a gap year if possible. Saying that, with first generation immigrants, gap year is like practically out of the picture. It's just kind of you follow the system, and then by 21 you're done. You should get a job. But yeah, I was looking forward to uni. I just think that might be because I didn't have other options. What about you?
Well, I took 2 gap years.
Nice.
That was earth shattering. And I think I'm really proud of it because I think it shaped me to be who I am. I think I'm more entrepreneurial. I have more creative skills. I'm constantly like thinking of ideas because I had that time to mold some ideas and to meet other people that I wouldn't have met if I went straight to uni and graduated in the next 3 years. And although it was hard, I think I had to rebel because this was the financial burden, and it was the burden coming to me, and I had to let them know.
See, the other thing is like being first gen, you can't really, you don't have anything to fall back on. So if you want to take a gap year, it's your own risk, and usually your parents don't want you to take that risk, and they just want you to be safe. So they can't really like support you during the gap year or anything, which is a big problem for, I would say, our generation.
We're sending strength to everyone listening. If you do want to pursue your heart to do whatever you want,
just stand your ground and make sure you have something to fall back on.
But I think when you're young, I think the most troubling thing in my life as a diaspora was to communicate with my parents. Because living at home under your parents' roof, obviously you had to follow their rules. But just to communicate, to have a safe space to just speak your mind, has been a struggle when I was younger. And I think I used to beat myself up too much for not being able to build the bridge. Because I think I've learned now, just the emotional intelligence comes from you. Like, you need to set the mood, you need to set the vibe with your parents too, just like you might with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your colleague. And of course, I still can't all the time. It's a learning curve forever until I sleep and live with them. Do you feel that struggle?
Yeah, it's really difficult to communicate with them because they, as much as they want to understand you, there are some things they just can't understand because during their like growing up years, they were in a completely different community, completely different like expectations and standards. So it's, as much as you want to help them understand, sometimes I feel like you have to kind of rebel, like you said. And then they'll see the good in it later if you know what you're doing, if it's a good decision.
Okay, going back to uni and how you were always doing bits and bobs. Were you always working part-time too while you were studying?
Not always, but especially in final year, I did find myself like needing to work. So I had like, well, I did 2 jobs, obviously one at a time. But that was along with like my studying, and I was president of a society as well, so a lot going on. But
was that when you felt the burnout maybe?
Yeah, there were times where you just get tired because you'd go to uni, then you go to work, and then I'd have to like lead dance classes or whatever, so it would be tiring. And also 3rd year like flashed by, it made time go so much quicker. And I think towards the end I definitely felt the burnout because I was like so close to the end and you just kind of want it to be over, like get tired.
Yeah, because I worked throughout my uni years just because I think I'm a workaholic. I like, because my parents never like funded me. I had to fund myself.
Same.
Yeah, and I remember just like deeping how it's kind of sad time to be a student. Like, you know, back in the day, white people went to uni for free. They could have used that time to develop themselves in whatever way they could. Whereas for me, like, I didn't have the time where I could like maybe join the sports stuff. Where maybe I would have learned a sport that which I don't know. And I was just thinking, it's really sad that, you know, we have to fund ourselves. There's no government to help us, and it's already so inflated.
I mean, before we went to uni, the price was like 3K, and then it went straight up to 9K. So God, fingers crossed it doesn't go up more. But I was gonna say, it's easy to like see everyone around you who has that privilege of like having so much time on their hands or like not needing to work, and they're doing like extra bits and bobs and doing experience and everything. So it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough. But I think if you're in that situation, it's important to pat yourself on the back for like what you're doing already,
Definitely.
because your circumstances are different.
But yeah, I do feel for other people doing so much out there to make yourself visible, because in this day and age, visibility is unfortunately really counts.
And what you said about like the serving mentality, I feel like that's very, very common between South Asians, because we are very communal and you want to do something to help people all the time. And I feel like as girls as well, you want to go out of your way and help people.
So emotionally vested.
Yeah, basically. One of my faults that I mentioned in interviews, like when they're asking me questions and stuff, is that I sometimes don't know how to say like no or like pace myself, because I put too much on my plate, especially during university. Like I would help out with my church at home as well, and some points I would just have to say, you know what, no. And it like broke my heart to say that, even though like I'm putting myself first.
Yeah, I think what you also said about giving yourself a pat on the back when it's needed is so important, because I don't think I did when I was younger in uni, and especially even every now and then still now.
Yeah.
Because I remember this. I think it's so easy to compare yourself with other people doing so much, posting so much on LinkedIn.
Social, like Instagram. If there's any day where I decide to give myself a break, that's the day everyone else decides to do something, and I'm just like, oh no, I should have kept going.
And but it's important to like keep yourself stuck in your own lane and being focused on yourself, and also giving yourself hand on the back, because I remember feeling like I haven't done enough, because from work, and I wanted to really focus on career this year, like in the past. It's been a year since we've joined.
Oh God, don't stop.
And
I joined a month before you as well, so I'm really close to being a year.
Yeah. But I think looking back, I think it's important to take time to reflect on what you have done too. Like, you know, like I did the hackathon. I learned some languages that I didn't know, like Python.
We did the tech challenge and everything.
Yeah. I mean, so it's important to celebrate even like small victories. Even though it might not be common in the culture, coming from South Asian culture, to celebrate little victories.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but like my mind is always like, okay, cool, what's next?
Yeah.
Like I never kind of look back and say, okay, I did all of that, and that's impressive. I just carry on. Like even now, I don't feel satisfied, which is not a very good trait. Like I feel like you should be able to be content. And not keep looking for happiness. But I don't know if it's my age or like me as a person, but I'm just like always looking for happiness in the next thing, especially when it comes to my career. I'm just like, okay, cool, what next? Like genuinely, what's next? That's all.
I think you used to explain that as being fun of your young age. Like I remember you like saying, I need to do this when I'm young. When else if not now?
Exactly. I was talking about like traveling during consultancy, and Tina doesn't like traveling. She doesn't want to stay
I
in
like
hotels.
traveling, but not for work.
Not for work, okay. But she'd rather not stay in hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
And my mentality was very much, you know, I was 21 when I started the job, and I was like, if I don't do it now, like when else am I gonna do it? I don't want to be like 40 and traveling and living out with a suitcase and everything.
Yeah. I mean, we're all different.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we will all learn about ourselves at a certain time in our own life with our certain pace. But I think when certain setbacks come, I take that time to reflect why, and then I ended up putting myself into like more just projects to keep myself busy. In order to prove myself again.
Yeah, because self-validation is very important, and I would say it's probably more healthy than looking for validation outside, because you may not get it where you want like it to come from, especially in the working world. You have to really push yourself to stand out and get the validation that you may have gotten before. So self-validation.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for younger grads who are graduating?
I feel like 2020.
It's time.
First of all, good luck to anyone graduating this year, because it's a very tough job market, and don't put yourself down, because it's really, really tough to find a job right now. Give yourself time, and if you've got free time, upskill. Like I said, like this age is the best time to upskill, because you don't have, or you may not have, many other commitments, and it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah. I think it's important to self-validate where you are, because unless you believe in yourself, it's not gonna show on your applications and whatever you might pursue, like if it's your own side business as well. Um, and although it's like tricky time and it's pressing time, I think I remember going to so many career events and they used to like just give like a bit of a pessimistic energy about it's just so tough.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really appreciate that. I would like to give it a bit of an optimistic feeling that it is possible. Look at me and look at her.
As in, you'll take your own time, but it is possible. Like,
Yeah,
you'll find your own groove and settle into it in good time.
yeah, and keep going. The law of averages will work.
And I just want to mention one more thing. If you're not doing anything, that's okay too. Like, it's really important to take downtime and not keep comparing yourself to others. And social media is very good at making you believe that everyone else is living their best life or doing the most, but that's what it's there for. Like, no one's gonna post their, you know.
I do.
She's
I
crying
post
on
a
her
lot.
story.
I post some real stuff. I try to.
Yeah, as in, no one's gonna. Very few people are gonna keep it real. Let's say. So don't feel like you're not doing enough, because as long as you're happy, you're doing enough. That's all.
Yeah.
And healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, what are you excited for?
Oh my god.
A happy ending.
I am excited, kind of excited to go back into the office,
Yeah.
whenever that is, because it's been like 6 months that we've been working from home.
Yeah, we'll be working from home until the rest of the year,
Till January.
which I don't mind.
I wouldn't mind going into the office a couple of days a week. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I like the whole getting coffee in the morning and all of that kind of stuff. So, a couple of days a week, socialising. I don't like sitting still. So, I would like to go back to the office. And yeah, just got years ahead of me. Looking forward to what they bring. What about you?
Yeah, I think I quite like working from home because I think it's given me the time flexibility to like get work done, and once the work is done I can work on my own projects, which I appreciate. And yeah, I'm excited to see like there's so many more other creative projects come to fruition, and also just keep learning and upskilling whenever there's just like fun projects or like giving back to community project. Yeah, it really wakes me up earlier than usual
You
to
need to
get
keep
work done.
you need to keep all the parts of your brain active. So
Yeah.
and I'm excited for more of Tina's tales. Obviously.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. And yeah, I think to the younger people, I would say don't be afraid to ask help. Ask, believe, receive.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh god, we went on a holiday for like 5 days and this is all Tina kept saying.
And it worked,
It
didn't
worked.
it?
We kept asking the waiters for like free stuff and they brought it. It was Tina's motto. I would say it works.
Yeah. But thank you for watching, and if you did like this video, give it a like.
Subscribe.
Please comment your thoughts. If you do have any questions, you can also write back what we think. And
Yeah, reach out for any advice.
yeah, we're all available to help. And thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
And thank you to Shilpa
Oh.
for coming.
I'm happy to be here.